And that's how you get the perfect layers for your iced matcha latte. Happy Matcha Mondays with Michelle. If you're new here, I'm Michelle and I do a short form series every Monday called Matcha Mondays. I've been doing this for over a year now, but now I'm also doing long form. So if you also like matcha, you're in the right place. And today I'm going to show you how to get the perfect layers in your iced matcha latte. I love a good traditional hot usucha, but I do also just love a good iced matcha latte where you have a nice layer of matcha and milk because it's just so satisfying to look at. No, it doesn't affect the flavor and you're just gonna mix it all together in the end anyway. So it's like, why does it matter? It's just fun to do. It's aesthetically pleasing. And who doesn't love a nice visually beautiful drink? So I'm gonna show you how I do it. And I also did a lot of testing for this. So I'm gonna show you all of my trials and share my learnings. Things that you should do and shouldn't do if you're struggling to get your layers to layer. Okay, so to start, we're gonna use this matcha. This is the Shinka matcha by Tea For Us. And look at this packaging. It is so cute. I did just post a short showing you my exact process as well. For that one, I used this matcha by Kyo Matcha. This is their Suga signature grade. Whenever I think of the name of this one, I think of BTS.
I'm Suga. Now I'm hungry.
Which, by the way, have you guys been listening to their new album? I love it. Yes, I'm an ARMY. Fellow ARMY, where you at? But I wanted to try it with a different matcha as well and see how it turns out. So one of the things that matters with your layers is your ratio of matcha to water. So I always use my golden ratio. I swear it is golden because it works for everything. And that's 3 grams of matcha with 30 grams of water. So basically for every 1 gram of matcha, you use 10 grams of water. And that just gives you the perfect consistency. So this is what the matcha looks like. It's a really nice color and I'm like almost out of it already. Even though this is new because I've been drinking it so much. It has a very nutty flavor profile. And if you know me, you know that nuttiness is my favorite. So I've been really enjoying this one. And I'm gonna take 3 grams and I'm gonna sift. I always recommend sifting to get rid of any clumps, which is also gonna help you get nicer layers. And then sticking with my golden ratio, I'm gonna add 30 grams of water. I like to use 170 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a little over, but that's okay. And then the other thing that really makes a difference is your microfoam. You want your matcha to be kind of fluffy and really well aerated because that's really going to help it kind of float on top of the milk. I made a whole video showing you my exact microfoam process. So if you need some tips, you can check that out. So we've got some big bubbles and now I'm just going to whisk the surface. It's very fluffy and airy, and this is the kind of texture that you want. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they add sweetener to their matcha, but that is gonna weigh down your matcha and that's just gonna make it sink to the bottom. This goes for syrups, jams, purees, anything that you're using to flavor your matcha, I would add it now so that it sits as a nice bottom layer. I'm gonna take pure maple syrup. I usually don't sweeten my matcha, but I will for demonstration purposes. Today I added about 8 grams. And now for your ice. I do think it's easier to achieve layers with bigger ice cubes. If it's smaller, then there are just more gaps, which could more easily result in unevenness, so I like to use big ice cubes. In my short, I used round ice cubes, and that turned out really well, but here I'm trying it with square. And now for the milk, you can add as much as you like. I don't like my lattes to be too milky, so I'm just gonna add 80 grams. And what helps to maintain the layers is pouring slowly and pouring on top of the ice. Because if it's too fast, then it's just gonna sink. And if you pour it on top of the ice, it's gonna help kind of distribute it more evenly and help maintain the layers. But now, this is where it all comes together. We can pour our matcha. It's nice and fluffy. And again, I'm gonna aim for the ice cube and pour kind of slowly. You don't need to pour too slowly. I would just say don't go super fast. Oh my gosh, that turned out really good. And that's how you get the perfect layers for your iced matcha latte. Okay guys, I've actually been like just letting this sit for a bit because I was trying to like take thumbnail photos and stuff. But it kind of just created this really pretty gradient effect. The matcha just slowly has been blending into the milk and it's actually really pretty. I also just want to show you what it looks like in my perspective. Like, look at how fluffy that foam is. So those are the main things that I do. I'm going to share some other useful tips and common mistakes to avoid to help you get the perfect layers. But before that, let's try the matcha. Goodbye, beautiful layers. Doesn't that just look incredible? Cheers. Guys, this matcha is so good. In their product description, they describe it as a buttered croissant. And it actually somehow does taste like a buttered croissant, which is really interesting. It's nutty, it's umami, it's earthy. It's so creamy and rich. It's full-bodied. It has a nice strong flavor. It also has a natural sweetness on its own, so you really don't need to add sweetener with this. They also gave me an affiliate code to share with you guys. So if you use my code Michelle, you'll get 10% off your order. This was also gifted, but all opinions on my own, and I genuinely really enjoy this matcha. Okay, so I tested 9 different factors to see what made a difference in getting your layers to layer. So the first test was adding sweetener to your matcha. So like I mentioned, I don't recommend doing this because this is going to weigh down your matcha and cause it to just sink to the bottom like this, rather than float on top of the milk. But I mean, it does look cool actually. It's giving this like tie-dye effect. But if you do want that nice clean layer, definitely add your sweetener or syrups to your cup first, or mix it in with your milk first, rather than adding it to your matcha. The next test was to see if small ice cubes worked. I'm using the smallest ice cubes that I have, and I used my same golden ratio. I also poured my matcha on top very slowly, but as you can see, I couldn't get a nice clean layer. And again, it's not a bad thing, but if you're trying to get that clean layer, I wouldn't recommend small ice cubes. However, I did find that mixing the ice a little actually helped to blend out the streaks, and I was able to get a nice looking layer. So there's a little trick that you can do. But then I tried small ice cubes again, but I tried pouring the matcha slowly over a spoon. And this is supposed to really slow down the flow and get the matcha to sit on top. But again, it didn't work too well. There are a lot of streaks again, but same thing. I gave it a little mix, and it did in fact give the illusion of layers. But then I tried it with medium-sized ice cubes, and it kind of worked, but I needed to pour super slowly and really aim for the ice cubes. I also kind of went in a circle to try and evenly distribute the matcha around the cup. So yes, it kind of worked, but it also just felt like more work compared to just pouring it in a steady stream over big ice. It's also not the cleanest layer, so I do still prefer big ice over this. And then I tried pouring the matcha over big ice, but pouring quickly. I just dumped it all in, but it didn't really layer. I think there's just too much force, so I still recommend pouring at a slower speed. My next test was to see if whisking with cold water made a difference. Usually I whisk my matcha with hot water at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and hot liquid is less dense than cold liquid, so that could also be why the hot matcha layers nicely on top of cold milk. But as you can see, it actually layered really well. Maybe it's because when I whisked my matcha, I gave it a really fluffy microfoam, so that might have helped. But I do actually think that you can still get a nice layer even if you cold whisk your matcha. So then I tested it with twice the amount of water. So instead of my usual 30 grams, I used 60. And the water is hot here, but again, it worked well, so I was surprised. And then I wondered if it would work without microfoam. So I tried to whisk in a way that wouldn't result in a fluffy microfoam, but I'm so used to always creating microfoam, so I didn't really know how to do it without microfoam. Eventually I got to this consistency, which is certainly less fluffy than my normal matcha, and this actually worked too. Maybe it was the round ice, or maybe it was the slow pour, or maybe you really just don't need a fluffy microfoam. And lastly, I tested it with an electric whisk instead of my bamboo chosen. Electric whisks aren't usually the best at incorporating matcha into the water. You're usually left with a lot of clumps even if you sift your matcha first. So I tried it using my golden ratio again, poured it on top very slowly with big ice cubes, and it kind of worked. When I turned the cup, I saw how streaky it was. On one part, there was a pretty nice layer actually, but overall it just wasn't super clean. So I think the electric whisk is a pass. So my final thoughts. After all of these tests, which I did on different days, I did not do all of this on one day, I realized that microfoam, water temperature, and the amount of water don't actually make as much of a difference as I thought. The things that do still make a difference are when you add your sweetener, your ice cubes, and your pour speed. So because your sweetener is heavier, add it as the bottom layer, use big ice cubes, it doesn't really matter what shape, and pour at a slower speed, aiming for the ice cube. I think as long as you keep these in mind, you'll get nice clean layers with the least amount of effort. And again, it's not that serious, this is just for fun, and there are other factors that could make a difference as well, but these are just the main ones that I was able to test. So I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if you have some other tips too that I didn't mention. I love when you guys chime in and share all of your insights too. That way we can all just help each other have the best at-home matcha experience, which is what I'm all about. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what other Matcha Monday videos you want to see from me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Bye!